Hey guys, Sus here, doing an introduction to Alar on Ascended. So you can see that we have all the players on second floor, and you can see there is a new mechanic in the fight, which is Living Bomb. With Living Bomb, it basically deals damage over time, and when it ends, it will basically make a permanent fire. That's why we have it on second floor instead of the ground floor. Other than that, first phase is exactly the same. But you will notice here that we're going to the third platform. When the boss is going to the third platform, it will basically spin in the air in the middle, so you can damage it from the middle of the ground floor. Which you can see here, we have some players running to the middle, and then they can damage the boss in the air because she is spinning in the air. And then Melee and everyone else is basically making the way to the third platform. During this, you will pretty much get one shot if you're at the second floor. So you can see here there's like pulsing flames. So if you're close to this, it will basically kill you. So here I have a close call and I decided to use Guardian Spirit, but you can also use Cloak of Shadows. So here is second phase, so you can see that the boss is in the middle. We don't really care to move it. The most important part for us is that we have the meteor happen on Skull. So it doesn't really matter where it is, as long as it's away from the place you want to be in phase 3. From the meteor, there will be a permanent fire, which is really good to have on the opposite side. Along this, you will also have Living Bomb, which also gives a permanent fire. So it's just generally really good to have it on the opposite side. So here you can see we decide to group on Skull for meteor. And the way we solve it is by when we see the meteor, we disengage and then blink. And you can see that most players in our group avoided the knockback from the meteor. You can also use Cloak of Shadows in this fight. Cloak of Shadows actually remove the mechanic entirely, which means that when you use Cloak of Shadows, it removes the debuff and it does not spawn a fire effect on the ground. So Cloak of Shadows is a really good ability to have in this fight. So here you can see that we're just stacking the permanent fire from the meteor, just to make use out of our space. And disengage, and blink, and we're out of there. So it's very important that you just try to make space here. Depending on your DPS, you might have to go for more meteors and so on. We definitely have a lot of DPS, so we dealt with this phase quite easily. Going into third phase, you can see I put out 2 marks. These are for Fire Tornado. So during Fire Tornado, you can be on Skull. When you see one of the fire lines pass through, you go to Cross. And when you see another fire line go through, you go back to Skull. And then you're perfectly fine. So you don't have to worry more about Fire Tornado. Here you can see that I picked up a feather, which allows me to fly. We have 2 melees and 1 range DPS in the air, and then we have 3 range DPS at the ground. It's definitely possible to have an additional DPS in the air, but then it might be a little bit tight with the feathers. It's also worth noting that the pets also consumes the feather, so it allows your pet to fly, but not you. So here you can see me flying around, just trying to keep everyone alive. So here we have Fire Tornado. So you can see people are at Skull, then they go to Cross, then they go back to Skull, and we have no casualties. You can also see that we have tanks here, bringing the phoenixes away from our marks, and then we just kill them on either side. It's perfectly fine for a tank to stand in the fire effect and be healed. That is not a problem. So as a tank, you can pretty much go full ham here. You can see that one player decided to run a little bit further away and was out of range of heals. Took a lot of damage, probably from one of the phoenixes. The phoenixes have like a radiating, pulsing damage around them, and when they die, they also emit an explosion. So it's really important that you are far away from the phoenix during its lifetime and when it dies. So here you can see me at Skull. Then I go to Cross. And then we potentially go back to Skull, but I survived the fire line. So here I do not have a feather, so I'm not able to heal the people in the air. So what I tell them is that they have to come down for a shield, and here you can see all of them coming down for some heals, and when they get the shield they just go back up because the boss is relatively low HP, so it's not too big of a problem for us. So yeah, so this is the fight, guys. So good luck with the fight in the future.